Weeksy, so good.
What's up?
Right.
So good.
Hey, we got a former teammate here.
Yeah, I love it.
We got Brian Gionta. I mean, Gio, you're captain of two teams in the National Hockey League, captain of the Olympic team for Team USA. Welcome. Thanks for hopping on with us. And before we get going real quick, you remember what it was like playing with Weeksy, right? Like, he has his own lingo. Takes a little while to get it, all the nicknames. Do you have a favorite nickname you made up for someone? I'm putting you on the spot a little bit.
Him and I think it was the three of you. You, Parisi, and Weeksy. I think the three of you used to call me Easter Bunny because you used to hop around the ice.
Yep.
But,
That's right.
But, you know, I embraced it. I'm all right with it.
No,
it was all right.
Easter Bunny was right. He had some good ones every once in a while too when he was done playing, because we played with you your last year.
Yeah,
and then he moved into this and became a media star. He started getting some text messages. I was playing in Minnesota. One of the best I got, G, was he called Jared Spurgeon General. I'm like, dude, come on. Like, where do you get these from?
That one was too easy. That's a layup, actually.
Yeah.
Like, I was fond of the work, but that was a layup.
It was a layup.
Yeah.
It was a layup.
It was always constant. It was every bus trip to the airport. It was everything. You'd hear him. He sat like right behind me on the bus, like going to the airport, and he was just throwing names like that out the whole time.
Entertainment. Sheer entertainment all the time. So we're going to talk about your career and stuff. The one thing I want to talk to you about right away, we've got Beanpot Week. Monday on NHL Network here, we got a big matchup too. Probably the way that we always want to see the Beanpot play out, right? A little BC, BU action.
Wow.
You being a BC alum, you won your senior year. I mean, what is this? You're sitting in front of that TV. You're getting your son Adam. You're getting the family in front of the TV. You're watching this game, right?
100% we are. Like, it's huge, and obviously they're going against a former teammate in Pandolfo. So I wish him well, just not Monday night. So I'm all BC Monday night. We'll be decked out. We'll be watching the game. This past Monday, as exciting as the blowouts were, I would have liked a little better hockey matchups or games to come across, but we'll be hoping for a blowout come Monday against BU. I don't feel bad for those guys.
Well, you said you had the unique opportunity to play in it. How many times in the Beanpot? 4?
4 times. We won it my senior year, so I don't know if that's a great record, 25%. But we were in national championship games, Final Four every year, and we couldn't win the Beanpot till the final year. So
Save the best for last.
Kind of that senior year. We got all the demons behind us, and we finally won the thing. But the whole city is crazy. Like, we're in the national championship game, and all they're talking about is losing in the Beanpot. Like, come on, what are we doing?
It's true, though.
That's unreal.
Hey, you know what we got to get, though? So if you talk to Pando, if you talk to Jay Pandolfo, tell him we need a little bit of, listen, man, you know when we're here. We got so much BC Eagle influence on NHL Network. Yeah. We got Schneids here all the time. You know, Brian Boyle, every time someone in the league went to BC, does something, in the middle of the highlight, I'm like, stop. We need some sort of influence from BU. I mean, maybe you don't think so, though.
I don't. It just goes to show what the BC education does for you, what it sets you up for. It sets you up for life. You know, these guys are having success outside the game. It sets you up for life.
Gio, what's the best part of the Beanpot? For somebody that's played it as often as you have, what's the best part of it?
I think if I put myself back to my college days, a young, 18, 19, 20-year-old kid, it was playing in the Garden, right? Like, it was being downtown, playing there. The atmosphere there is different. Everything is different. You're in an NHL rink, and as a college guy, you're not used to that. So that's a big experience to be down there. It's fun for sure.
So I love doing these with former teammates because we played together for a long time. A good buddy. There's things I don't know about you and your upbringing and playing. I mean, I didn't talk to you about, like, prior. You grew up in Rochester, okay? So then you go to BC. What was the decision like to go there? But also, I'm sitting here looking, man, like, I'm an OHL guy, you're an OHL guy, but I know numbers when I see numbers in college hockey. And you come in as a freshman, here's your year-by-year goal total. You got 30, 27, 33, 33. That's some pretty big time. Were you just confident I'm going to thrive in college hockey? Like, what happened there?
It was a different time, Rupper. You guys know, right? It was 5'7". I was no surefire to be a Division I mainstay. Like, highly recruited. Like, I had lots of options. No doubt about that. But the fact that I was going to be an impact or a numbers like that, I don't think that kind of came into the equation. I had to constantly prove myself game in and game out that I could stay there, belong there, push for the next level. I think for me, it was always motivating to say, hey, look at me. I can play this game like anyone else. It was a different era, different time. And for sure, I look back at that and I see sophomore slump. I tailed off sophomore year.
I love that. What was it, 27 you dropped off?
You struggled. You had 27 instead of 30. That's like the kid in class. What'd you get on the math test? Oh, I struggled, man. What'd you get? 98. Like, really? Come on now, Gio. But, Gio, here's something that's pretty awesome. It's, two of my former teammates and yourself and Marty St. Louis that went on to have amazing careers. But you've opened the doors for a lot of young players like Cole Caulfield, now in your former club in Montreal, among others. Do you ever think of the fact that you guys had such a big impact on some of the, maybe in terms of the height chart, undersized players, but these young players that have become very impactful?
I think for sure, but I don't listen. We played a part in it. I wouldn't say we were the trailblazers. I mean, you had Fleury, you had LaFontaine. I look to those guys, right? And I'm sure those guys looked to St. Louis, in Caulfields, and those guys see St. Louis that they did it. I think it's breaking the mold of what was acceptable and how the game was played and how you could use your speed and smarts and be undersized and make an impact on NHL teams. But I have to give credit to the people that believed in me as well, right? I always believed in me, but you have to have someone give you your break. So Lou and the Devils, like those are the guys that believed in me to give me my shot to prove myself. And I think it holds true for anybody at any level. No matter what size you are, you need someone to believe in you to get your shot.
Yeah, and Lou certainly believed in you. I mean, you're a big piece of the Stanley Cup winning team in 2003. Man, this is the part two. I have a little funny story. I'll do my Lou Lamoriello impression. We used to come in the room, and Lou believed in you because you played big. You may not have been big in size, but you played big, and you hold the all-time record for goals scored for New Jersey Devils at 48.
48.
And you were a net front presence. So I'll say that again for the viewers. Net front presence at 5'7". So 5'8", what are you? You already said that.
5'7".
5'7". We'll give you 5'8". He was 5'8". And so yeah, 5'7", net front presence. Go in there, you paid a price. And I remember Lou would always come in the room, right? When we had games, I don't know, I'm sure you were embarrassed that he would do this to you. He'd come in the room and he would just sit there and he'd be like, basically calling out the rest of the team for playing soft. And he'd just be like, look at him. Brian, stand up. The heart of a lion. The heart of a lion. He just always say that. And he was right, though. He believed in you. He loved you. And you came through. But I love that, you would always, you get uncomfortable. You were comfortable being uncomfortable. And this takes me to where you go to Montreal. Rochester-born kid. You go into the cathedral of hockey. You're going up there. You're the captain of the Montreal Canadiens. And I don't know why I'm getting goosebumps right now, but I think it's so cool.
I got it.
You were like, I need to learn French. I need to learn French. You take us through that and what that meant to you and the respect you had to be a Montreal Canadien.
To be honest, it was a hard transition at first in the offseason going there. I envisioned myself as a Devil. I grew up as a Devil. We won a cup, obviously, together, Rupper. Like, that's what you believed in, the Devil way. Like, you were going to be a part of it. And so at first, free agency comes around and there's nothing with New Jersey, and I had to explore other other options. And going to Montreal was just the experience of that. But the way that, they believed in me there and what I could bring to their team, then now it's a shift to, okay, what is this place all about? And it's the mecca of hockey. Like, there's no better spot. Jeff Molson, great owner, all the way down from GMs that we had and coaches. My experience there was top notch. We talked to some other teammates. Maybe it wasn't the same, but the fans, the media, the organization really embraced me, and I loved my time there. And the learning French thing was all about appreciating the culture that is there and being a part of that culture, right? I'm adapting to the culture there, and I want to embrace that. I'm coming to their place, and I just wanted to try to find some acceptance there. I was never good at French. I never did anything publicly in French except announcing the teams the one year. But I didn't do much in French publicly, but it was the private times with the media or restaurants, whatever it may be, that I hope went the extra mile that showed that I was at least trying. I was embracing it.
That's class through and through, because they do value that when you try and you make an effort. Let's spin it forward then to Western New York. You're a Western New Yorker, as Rupper said, Rochester. You grew up watching the Sabres. Then all of a sudden you go to your childhood favorite team. What was that experience like playing back home?
Great to play at home. Great to, at the end of my career, I was closer to family. You know, my parents could come to all the games. You know, my brothers and things like that, like, could all be a part of it. It's the kind of team you watch locally growing up. But on the ice, it was a struggle. It was a struggle coming from New Jersey and Montreal, two great organizations. We had success. We didn't win in Montreal Cup, but we went to two conference finals. So we had some success, right? And to go there, I thought the process was further along at the time, and I thought that I could help with where I was at in my career, move that forward. And, you know, that's a little bit of a disappointment that I wasn't able to move it forward anymore than what it was. It just wasn't great timing that way on the ice. But lifestyle, I still live in Buffalo. My kids are in school in Buffalo. We go between Buffalo and Roch. So, like, for the lifestyle portion of it, it was great.
You had a big game, or big goal, I should say. I thought it was really cool in your 1,000th game in Buffalo, or playing for the Sabres. I mean, the fact that through all that, and you talked about how you got there, 1,000 games and then a score. Can you take us through that moment?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier, right? When we were talking, I was never a surefire thing. So as it's approaching to 1,000 games, it really sank in that, hey, I made a great living at this. I made a career of this. I made an impact, made my dreams come true. And then to share it with, you know, like I said, around in Western New York with my family, my wife, her family, our kids, to be able to celebrate 1,000 games, that kind of mark in my career was super special. And then, you know, to be able to score in that game just kind of capped off the night. It was a special night. It was at home. The game was at home. We celebrated, you know, on the 1,000th game, and I was able to score that night. It was a pretty special night for me.
Gio, since we've spoken, you're coaching youth hockey back home. Listen, for a lot of the parents that are out there watching, we would have walked from here to Brazil to have former NHLers that had successful careers coach us. I just spoke to somebody else yesterday that's a Hall of Famer. He'll remain nameless. Who's coaching youth hockey? What's the experience?
What does it rhyme with?
The Big E. That's all. The Big E. You should take it from there. You got it from there. And not Biggie Smalls, but the Big E. All that to say, what's the experience been like? Has it been as gratifying as you hoped? Are the kids listening? Are the parents listening to a lot of the amazing knowledge that you bring to the table, Gio? Come on.
Yeah, it's a mixed bag, to be honest with you. There's a lot of great people involved. There's a lot of great players. There's a lot of great parents, but there's equally as many that are not in it for the right reasons, don't look at it the right way, have unrealistic expectations of it. My biggest takeaway of coaching youth is being with my kids. I've been able to be with my kids. You miss a lot of time with them when you're in your playing career. To be able to be a part of their journey, their fun, like, that's all I care about, seeing what they enjoy doing. That's been the biggest part for me. But you do get those special players that you can kind of give wisdom to, that really listen to, really absorb it. And we've created a lot of good friendships, whether it's with the parents or other kids on my son's teams, that we've kept those connections, and they've meant a lot. And they appreciate what you bring to the table. I find myself, I'm much better coaching older kids just because I can kind of coach to those little details of the game rather than, hey, how do you stride? How do you shoot a puck? Like, I'm better teaching the overall game and little intricacies, picking it up off the wall, things like that. I do enjoy working with the kids that are super excited, the parents that have realistic expectations are just in it for the right reasons.
Good lucky to have you.
Isn't it tough, though? You have to look up to the older kids. I get one in there. Sorry, buddy.
I got the junior boys, so we got a great organization going in Rochester, the North American Hockey League they're in. So Adam's there, my oldest. Nice. We're kicking along. We had a great year last year. This year's another great year. But yeah, like, you're on the ice, and I'm undersized even out there. Like, so
I wish you would have. I wish you would have said
20-year-old kids.
And if you would have walked down that and said I like working with the younger kids more, I was just going to absolutely grill you. So I had to go either way. But Gio, hey, listen. we didn't even get to it. We're going to let you go. We appreciate your time. But yeah, you mentioned the Beanpot Championship.
Yeah.
Same year as a senior, national championship. I was playing in the Albany River Rats. The game was in Albany. You guys end up winning the national championship up there. Stanley Cup champ. I mean, a champion through and through. Captain of Team USA, Buffalo Sabres, Montreal Canadiens. Hell of a career. Keep doing what you're doing, enjoying the family life, buddy. We appreciate you hopping on here for sure.
Of course, man. Always. I'm always available. I appreciate the friendship, boys, and keep doing what you're doing. I love watching, love being a part, and that we shared careers together.
Appreciate you, man.
Hey,
Thanks, Gio.
hey, real quick before I let you go, what do you think of Weeksy's breaking news all the time? It's great, isn't it?
Oh, I saw the one. I was trying to figure out what highway it was. Weeksy, you're just hanging out on the side of the highway.
It's a turnpike here.
Weeksy, like safety protocols at least at some point. We don't need to break it at all costs. Like, come on.
No, that's true. But I felt that was the better option than trying to tweet at 70 miles per hour.
That's a good option.
That was my call.
Right.
That was
It's the best of both evils.
Yeah,
there.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
all right, buddy. Hey, say hi to Harvest and the
Yeah,
family.
man.
We appreciate you.
Thanks,
All right,
Gio.
boys. See you later.